So in today's video we're going to be talking about if the market's going to rise or drop in the next week. So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch for the cheapest trading guides out there for just £4, €4, all free with Amazon Prime. You'll receive daily trading and investing guides covering PlayStation, Xbox and PC with an array of methods covering all budgets. And I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million in multiple different FIFAs, and now for the last 4 years I've made 10 million coins in just the first month. So what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about how different budgets react to the market in the next few weeks. We're going to be showing you how it compares to last year. As a result, we're going to be talking about the sort of cards that are safe to hold over the next few weeks and the sort of cards that are very risky to hold over the next few weeks. So the first sort of players we are going to be showing you is basically going to be players who are 50k, as last year from the release of the game. So last year the market peaked on the Monday and the Tuesday, and then it proceeded to drop from the Tuesday all the way through to the Sunday. That is not the Sunday that's just gone, but the Sunday before that. Well, last year we can see the market peaked on the Monday and the Tuesday, and then what it did is it dropped all the way through to the Friday. So again, it kind of rebounded 2 days later this year. Well, then what happened is the card then proceeded to rebound all the way through to Tuesday. Well, if we look at the likes of Alonso, we can see the card rebounded Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday. It then started to drop. Well, the exact same thing happened last year where the card started to drop on Tuesday. It then proceeded to drop till Saturday, and again we look at Alphonso Davies, proceeded to drop till Saturday, and then after Saturday he rebounded slowly going into Monday. Well, for Alphonso Davies rebounded from 42 to 43, and now he's rebounded to 46 till Monday. Well, then what proceeded to happen is a bit voodoo-like. He then proceeded to drop all the way through to Thursday, rebounded slightly on Friday, and then just dropped and dropped and dropped. And we think the exact same thing is going to go and happen here with Alphonso Davies, because the market is literally one for one replicating last year. The only thing that is happening this year, which is even more worrying, is the drops are way, way bigger. Because Varane last year, between the Monday and the Saturday that's just gone, he dropped the best part of 12k, which as a result of his previous price was about 20%. Whereas if we look at Alphonso Davies dropped from 64 down to 42. 64 to 42 is 22k, which as of the previous price is about 35%, 35, maybe even 40%. So basically seeing bigger drops this year than last year, but we're still seeing them drop on the same days and rise on the same days. We may say, well, that might be an exception. Well, I can show you this trend with more expensive players. So we've got the likes of Rashford, and Rashford again was expensive on the Tuesday. He then dropped to the Friday and rebounded to the Tuesday again. If we look at last year, we've got Vinicius Jr. was expensive on the Tuesday, dropped to the Friday, and then was expensive till the Tuesday again. Exact same trend. He then proceeded to drop between the Tuesday all the way through to the Sunday. Marcus Rashford then proceeded to drop from the Tuesday all the way through to the Saturday. So, how much did Rashford drop? Or sorry, let's have a look at how much Vinicius Jr. dropped. Vinicius Jr. last year dropped from 290 down to 220, which is about a 70k difference, which is about a 35, I'd almost want to say 35, 34% drop. So it was quite a high drop last year. Marcus Rashford dropped from 250 to 185. It's going to be testing me right here, which is 65k, which as a percentage is... It's going to be, I think, just a little bit less than Vinicius Jr. But again, still, these are very, very big drops. But it's showing the exact same trends, because he then started rebound Sunday to Monday, held till the Tuesday, and then he then proceeded to drop almost another 20%. Well, Rashford again has, between the Saturday and the Sunday, started rebounding. And again, I think he'll peak today on the Monday, and then he'll go down yet another 20% into the Friday. I think just while we're here, we might as well look at the absolute extremes of icons. So we then can look at the likes of Zidane. And last year, Zidane was the lowest on the Wednesday, and then he rose into the Tuesday. If we look at Zidane this year, we can see the lowest he was on the Saturday, and he rose into the Thursday. So it's a slight delay, actually. We can still see the same sort of rises in the same sort of times. He then proceeded between that Thursday, basically until I guess where we are now, to then go and drop generally about 20%, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, drop, give or take 20%, a little bit less, maybe like 15%. We see the exact same sort of thing happen with Varane last year, where he dropped from 3.3 million, and again dropped to the Saturday, down here to 2.5, which, if anything, actually maybe drops a little bit of a higher percentage last year, because here he would have dropped, what, 25% or something like that? Well, then what proceeded to happen is, on the Sunday, he then had a slight rebound going into that. Basically, he just stopped dropping as of the Sunday. So if we go and look at Zidane now, sadly the hourly averages aren't too much to go by, but what you can do is you can look at the sell data, and you can see that the sell data from today isn't really any lower than the sell data from yesterday, therefore indicating, especially if we look at the drops from previously, he was going for like 2.5 million on the 7th. We then go and look where he was going from the 8th, and he was down there to 2.1 million. Then we look at the sales today, and it's kind of a bit all over the shop. Some 2.1s, some 2.2s. But basically, he's not going down today, not the 300k he was dropping each day. So even top-end icons are replicating the same sort of percentage drops, the same days they're rising, and the same days they're dropping. So, because we've got 50k players following the same trends, we've got 200k players following the same trends, and we've got 2 million coin cards following the same trends, believe it or not, we can gamble that it's going to follow the same trends. And the trends basically is that the market is now going to hold again till Monday, Tuesday, and then it's going to drop till Friday. And then it was very interesting, because from that Friday onwards, the more expensive the card, the better they hold their value. In fact, some cards held their value for 2 weeks in a row. So this would have occurred because basically they weren't being replaced. So we had like someone like Vinicius Jr. last year. Like, go and grab this here. This is the equivalent of the up-and-coming Thursday, Friday. And they just rose and rose and rose. Now, the problem I have with this is that this would be lovely, right? On a market that's been nothing but dropping, it'd be lovely for the market to hold. And this kind of, again, happened across the market. I'm going to show you VVD from last year. Again, the more expensive the players, the better they hold. The cheaper the players, the faster they drop / don't hold. This is because it's all to do with supply and demand, and the expensive cards are not being packed. Once again, this is the equivalent of this Thursday, Friday, and he rose for about a weekend league or two. The only problem I have with this is because we have higher percentage drops. So that is occurring at the moment because more stuff is being packed than it is being brought. And as a result, what this means is that consistently, every time there's like promo packs, you're going to have 50 of a player packed, but only 30 are going to get bought up. When you have weekly rewards, you've got 50 of a player being packed, but only 30 are being brought up. So it means that any time that there is an increase in packs, there is not as much of an increase in demand. So the market will only rebound when there is no increase in packs being opened, which explains why the market can rebound on a Monday and Tuesday, because there's no weekly rewards, there's no marquee matchups, there's no division rival rewards, there is no packs being opened, which means slowly the market keeps on getting bought back, boom, packs eventually are back being opened, and everything is now being packed more than it's demanded, which explains again why stuff is down. So the reason that last year the stuff wouldn't have gone down here is because it wasn't being packed more than it was being demanded. In fact, it was being demanded more than it was being packed. But I, again, wouldn't be very confident in that being the case. Now, what I would say is there's probably, I don't imagine we'll see as big of a drops percentage-wise this weekend than last weekend, because last weekend was probably the first very heavy supply, and now we've had that very heavy supply. You know, the increase in supply which we're going to get from Friday isn't going to be as high of a percentage. Sounds really complicated. Just understand the market shouldn't drop as much this weekend than last weekend. There is also a chance that the market didn't drop too much last year because of the promo. So last year, the market didn't drop for 2 weeks because of the rule breaker promo. There would be arguments that, and I didn't think the rule breaker promo is too bad, that a lack of these cards were replacing gold cards or replacing maybe RTTKs in teams, because maybe, you know, they're seen as slightly underwhelming. And as a result, seen as slightly underwhelming, people weren't replacing Vinicius Jr. with Zaha. And the SBCs maybe weren't good enough. So as a result, you know, the gold cards kept rising and rising. Now at the moment there is a leaked promo, which is, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Trailblazers. We don't know how good these cards are. These cards generally could just be as good as rule breakers, and they're just, you know, reskinned basically. But only time will tell. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get too. I don't think it's gonna be too insane. At the moment, Smith is the only player that's leaked. That's no different than us having, you know, obviously a Dembele in the current team or Haaland in the team last week. I imagine she'll be a headliner player. I don't think the average player is going to be a 200k card. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. So what cards hold? Because at the moment I'm selling you basically a market that's going to hold / drop for the next week or two. Well, if we go look at RTKs from last week, they are booming, to put it politely. I do believe I did release a YouTube video regarding investing in these, so hopefully you guys did go out and pick them up. For example, Kalulu, 137, already up at 184. Dodo, 53, already up at 78. Openda, 186, already up at 227. Bruno Fernandes was 389, up to 2425. And co. So in the market where everything's dropped this weekend, you know, got like Rashford down 20%. If you went and bought Openda, same price as Rashford, he's up 20%. That's net 40%. And there's, these cards basically are very quote unquote risk free. And again, you're going to look at buying the current RTKs over on Thursday. Another really weird trend as well is that last week, or even in the last 24 hours, these guys did drop a little bit over the weekend, but do you know what? They didn't drop anywhere compared to what the promo cards were. We saw a drop here, 85 to 77, but he's rebounded anything he's dropped. So another thing that you guys can go and pick up is going to be old Team of the Weeks. And again, you'd look at picking these up on the Friday and the Saturday of the panic selling. So basically, you want your team to not be consisting of anything in packs. Anything that's in packs, you're fighting a losing battle. Anything that's not in packs is literally going to make you money rather than losing yourself money. So the incentive to use players in your team that are not in packs is really, really low. Obviously, if you want to use cards that aren't out of packs, then you can't really do anything about that. Also, you've got players that are out of packs because of promos. So, for example, I showed you that Rashford was down 40%. Well, if we go and show you Dembele from the current Team of the Week, current promo, once again, another 200k player, but unlike Rashford, who crashed, Dembele is now up in price. So you've got players who are out of packs because they're, gold cards are out of packs because they're promo players, buying RTTKs, buying Team of the Weeks, and then on top of that, if you really want to build your teams and play extremely safe, you've got fodder. You can go and use the likes of Benzema, and you're not going to be losing any coins. Apparently, Benzema's finesse shots are really good. And then again, you can use any of these players. You can play a K or two. You could go and use stuff like Bonucci. I guess not, but you can use Bonucci because he's an old RTTK card. In fact, RTTK Team 1 and Team 2 will keep rising, so if you want to use any of them, go crazy. Picking them up on Friday, a bit of panic selling will probably be good. But yeah, fodder, gold cards are going out packs because of Team of the Week and RTTK, and RTTKs over on the Thursday. I think that's wrapped it up. Hopefully we've made it clear that what's going to happen with the market over the next 2 weeks. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.